Some opening comments for you on tonight's game. Mark and I have kind of rehashed it a little bit. It just seemed like the second chance points were just so important for UCLA.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. We play like Bellarmine. We play like Bellarmine from an effort standpoint, an execution standpoint, and from a belief standpoint in each other, in what we do in practice. And that's the score will take care of itself. I mean, I understand the second chance points. I mean, that's Mick Cronin. I mean, we forget they're a Final Four team with literally everybody back. And Mick's coach's toughness, probably better than anybody. It's good, if not better than anybody in the country. We knew that going in. But, you know, you look, yeah, the second chance points. But how about this? Points in the paint plus free throws. We won that battle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our goal was to keep them under 7 threes. They hit 8. Our goal was to keep them at 33% or below. They shot 29-6. Now, the biggest glaring thing is our turnovers. Some of it is the competition. Some of it is us. But nobody tried to. But at the end of the day, they get 22 more attempts than us.
Right.
But the shooting from the field is dead even. We shoot 45, they shoot 45 too. So let's say we get 22 more shots.
Right. Yeah, you're going to win.
But they are, you know, and I so much respect for Mick. Let's face it, they're playing number 1 tomorrow night. A rematch of one of the greatest Final Four games in modern history. But I will say this to the fans, because I said this to the players, and I'm sure in this day and age everybody is aware of it. But we are the first team in the history of college basketball to play number 1, 2, and 3 in the country in November. And today's November 22nd. So now what we called upon in the locker room was, last year we played 14 league games on back-to-back days. The 15th game we played Liberty by themselves. So we call upon that. And that experience has to help us tomorrow night. Who's going to be the most excited? Who's going to be the toughest? Who's going to execute better against Central Michigan?
You played those 3 teams, and you have a thought on any one of those 3 at this point early in the year. Both Gonzaga and Purdue had this tremendous size. UCLA had Johnson, who was big too, but not as big as those other teams. But it's hard to pick between those 3 at this point.
Now they're all 3 great basketball teams. They're different, but great basketball teams. You know, mixed teams a little more skilled. The other teams are very balanced in terms of their inside and outside. Like we know Purdue, if Purdue shoots well from the three-point line and you got 7-4 and 6-10, you're beat.
Yeah.
And Gonzaga the same way. I mean, the other night they hit 11 threes against us. They make 7 on the year. So these teams have great balance. I mean, there's a fine line, believe me. But they are 3 great basketball teams. And their coaches, I'm going to say this. It'd be hard-pressed to be classier than Mick Cronin, Matt Painter, and Mark Few. I mean, some of the comments that y'all don't know this. Now, I know I never get to come tell y'all anything you don't know. I talked very little that game. You knew he was in our locker room?
I saw you go in there with the guy, but I couldn't recognize him from way up here.
Seth Greenberg.
Oh, really?
Wow.
He ran to me and said, I got to talk to you. And I said, Seth. And he's like, I got to talk to you. And I said, well, don't tell me, tell those players. He goes, where's your locker room? Went in there and talked to our guys. I mean, here's a guy, how many hundreds of games does he see? And he said, this is incredible. He just took over the locker room. They're clapping. You know, good for them. When you do the right things and you play the right way, opportunity chases you down.
People notice.
When you don't, you know, there is door slam. There is no opportunities. So I was proud of them. You know, and now it's all focus on Central Michigan. We'll watch a half of this game. We're bringing their food in. We're already getting them hydrated, et just same pattern we went through a year ago, and be ready to go tomorrow an hour earlier.
What have the players said to you about this experience? Have they shared any thoughts to you about it?
It's hot and cold. The experience at Gonzaga was the greatest student involvement experience I've ever seen.
Yeah.
but they didn't like the outcome. They did. And I think yesterday, to be very candid with you, I think there was a little feeling sorry for themselves yesterday. And we had a heart-to-heart today at our walkthrough. And why, as a teacher, what I'm encouraged about, they responded. If you're a teacher, you challenge them or you get on them and they don't respond. You got problems. They responded. And that's, I couldn't be more proud of them. But we I think they were. I think they were feeling sorry for themselves. And we got to clean it up, man. We got to clean up how we're playing.
Yeah, those turnovers, half of them were totally unforced.
I know.
Just dribbling off your feet and just, oh, my goodness.
Well,
but I think only, I don't know how many points they got off turnovers. I think just 4. But anyway.
Scott is shaking hands with Tracy Murray, who does the analyst work for UCLA, and he, is Cam.
I coach Cam. Where's Cam? This is on him. Oh, okay.
He's back in Los Angeles. Tracy said.
No.
All right.
Tracy, can you play tomorrow?
That's some size we could use.
Yeah, that would work. That would help Bellarmine.
Thank you, Tracy. That means a lot coming from you. Thank you. Tell Cam I said hello. We just do this on the air.
That's all right.
No, I coach Cameron, his brother at Louisville.
Well, but it speaks to what you were just saying.
Maybe one of the greatest shooters in the history of college.
It speaks to what you were just saying. People notice when you do it right.
That's Tracy Murray, arguably one of the best college shooters. Comes over and says, those kids play so hard. I mean, and Mick, if you notice, Mick and I stood out there. He went on and on and on. Mick's. He knows you can tell when a coach likes his team. And Mick really likes his team. He talked about that at length today earlier when we talked as we crossed and walked theirs.
All right. Just fans out here today to support you a little
guys bit? The Lipsays and the Wolfords, the Tillets, Big John, Furniture John he calls in all the show all the time. Ray Bronger was on the staff of U of L. We've got like 57 family members here. And I know I've left people out.
The bugs are up there.
Parker or Steve. Where's Steve?
They're right in front of the Betts family down there. Oh, there's Steve's talking to him now in the gray shirt.
Yeah,
there.
I see him. Yeah.
Is Steve Bug telling them how good he was when he played?
Yeah, probably.
Is he? No, I am. I'm proud of the people. But this is, again, I keep referencing this. Look, there's nobody who loses worse than me. Nobody. I own it. But this is how you build a program. This is how you build a program. Sean Farnham, that did the color on the ESPN Plus game, talked to me at length this morning, and when I got here today, he just ran up to me and he said, "Wow," he said, "This is special," and I'm proud of him. And again, you got to put your players first, and that's what we're going to do on this trip. Appreciate everybody. Everybody that's listening to this, do me a favor. We're home a week from Sunday. If you're a JCPS teacher, you can get 4 tickets, great tickets, for under $25, for $25. 4. And pass the word. And let's support these guys. Let's go out to Freedom Hall. It's 3 o'clock on a Sunday and have some basketball. I want to compliment the dealings between the University of Louisville and Bellarmine University. And I want to give a bunch of credit to our student athletes, specifically CJ and JB and Ethan and Dylan, our captains, who said, "Coach, absolutely, let's do this for those volleyball players at Louisville. We know what's going on. They've had a great year. Let's do this. Let's make this happen, Coach. Just whatever you got to do, let's do it." And Josh Hurd at U of L, was the point man on it. And then it got to Vince Tyree and Scott Wiegand. And, we are going to move our Saturday game on the 11th to December the 9th at the Yum Center.
That's the Asbury game.
The Asbury game will be on Thursday in the Yum Center on the Bellarmine court. And the suite holders will have a suite. Courtside seats will have their seats. And then, not only that, the next 2 years, we will play road games in the Yum Center. Next 2 games. I wish they were home games.
When they come to Freedom Hall,
the next 2 years will be road games in the Yum Center, which is going to be great for I'm in both universities in our community, and right now we need that.
Absolutely.
So everybody help us. I appreciate it. If you're just one's listening, pass the word. Pass the word. We can do this.
All right, Scott.
guys.
Thank you. We appreciate it.